Yeah, and we've got so much to talk about tonight. That's as far as we're going to go on those titles. So, welcome to the Nielsen Ratings, my weekly review show where we talk about all things old and new, film, TV, occasionally computer games. Going to be throwing it open to computer games from this week onwards. So, if people on my panel also want to bring up the latest console games or PC games or whatever, VR games, I feel we should talk about those too. So, from this week onwards, we will be covering those. But first of all, let me bring in the king of Texican food. Stupenzo's in the house. How's it going?
Howdy. Hello. What's up?
Hello. Good to have you here.
What's up with you?
Chilling. Fantastic. Okay.
I forgot that we had daylight savings, so I thought I was going to be doing this show an hour ago. I was all ready, and I was like, "Where's the link?"
Oh,
we had daylight savings on Sunday.
Ah, so your
ended
time is
daylight savings. We sprung forward.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate it.
Oh well,
I
appreciate you still being here, man. If that didn't line up with your schedule, my apologies. Yeah, we got a lot to cover tonight. All right, let's bring in other people. We've also got Northern English B-Starred. How are you?
I'm doing fine. And yeah, you mentioning daylight savings makes sense to why I had to go on early on Toxic's Buffy stream. So,
was there a Buffy stream on today?
Yeah, there was a Buffy stream on Toxic's channel, and it started off a little earlier than I expected. But it turns out, yeah, it makes sense now. Daylight savings time.
Oh, damn. Okay. Everybody's doing streams on Monday now. Tuesday, rather. Yeah, and we've also got the King of Spiders. Lots of kings in today.
Yes. Hello. My little minions have given me some time. It's all good.
But there's only one queen on this channel. That's Rachel, but she's not here today. However, in her stead is Princess Anna.
Hey.
Good to have you here.
The UK have daylight savings at the end of this month. When does it switch?
Yeah, it's a couple of weeks away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So pretty soon that signifies for us that winter is truly over and lots of the summer raves are soon upon us. So, as soon as it's summer day raving time, I'm looking forward to those. Awesome. Okay, good. All right, we've got a lot of stuff to cover today. First of all, I need to apologize to my panel. For some reason, to be fair, it was a joint decision, but we all thought when we discovered this film called Charlie Chan and the Curse of the Dragon Queen, which the title was beguiling, it sounded exciting, it intoxicated us, and the lure of Peter Ustinov somehow, pulled us in. And of course, it also had Brian Keith, Roddy McDowall, Rachel Roberts, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Richard Hatch from Battlestar Galactica, and of course, Angie Dickinson from Policewoman in a movie. What could go wrong? Quite a lot, apparently. I think we should start with that one. So it's an old film. I'm trying to keep a serious face on when I talk about this movie. This is an old film from 1981, and I said for a laugh, well, why don't we all watch it? Because none of us had seen it. I had seen it, as it turned out. I sort of started watching it, and I had these really bad pangs of, oh my god, yeah, this is really familiar. I remember watching this and thinking this was really bad, and I don't think I saw the whole thing, and now I know why. So the best way to describe this movie, apart from that it's massively racially offensive, is that it's like a Naked Gun film, except with no comedy. But it's Charlie Chan is a character that's been in kind of books and things like this, and Peter Ustinov. It's one of the characters that Peter Ustinov was famous for doing early on in his career, along with Detective Hercule Poirot. And I mean, I feel like if Peter Ustinov did Detective Hercule Poirot today, it would still be acceptable for him to be imitating a Frenchman, but I don't feel it would be acceptable for him to be imitating Charlie Chan, as he's not remotely Oriental, has this atrocious makeup to sort of make him vaguely Oriental, and then puts on this what was perceived as a sort of comical accent back then, but really wasn't by 1981. Now, I saw an earlier incarnation of this character. And I vaguely recall that those films were better, but I bet if we watch them now, they're probably not that much better. So yeah, but we all decided we should watch it. Oh, it was atrocious. It was really so bad that it was painful. I can't even be asked to describe the plot. The film can't decide what it is. Tonally, it's all over the place. It's supposed to be a comedy. It's really not funny. It's supposed to be a parody of the type of films that they were before, but it doesn't succeed in doing that either. Quite frankly, it's just utterly dreadful. And what we should have done when we heard about this movie is looked at the reviews on IMDb. Why we didn't do that, I don't know, because they were screaming warnings to us saying, don't waste your time. So this is not an older recommendation. I think this is the only time we've pulled out an older film, and we're probably going to universally pan it. Who knows? Maybe Enzo's going to come back with a 10. Perhaps he spotted something in it that I didn't.
No.
What did you think, Enzo?
The problem is, like when horror. No, I've skimmed it and I've seen the trailer, and I was like, no, I was skimming parts of it. And
I'll be honest, I was skimming.
I was like, what the hell is this? But the problem is, like, when a horror movie's bad, it's good. When an action movie is bad, it can be good. When a comedy is bad, it's very, 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 very painful. So comedy is one of those things where if it's, and you're saying, oh, it's like Naked Gun without any comedy. It's like, it's attempting, it's trying to be funny, which is why it's awful. If it was like Naked Gun, but without any jokes, like that sounds like a standard cop drama or something. But no, you're saying there's no laughs. It's like Naked Gun without any laughs.
It's trying to be Naked Gun, but just none of the jokes land.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It reminds me of did you ever see Silence of the Hams with Billy Zane and Dom DeLuise?
About 10 minutes of it.
That was enough. Spoof movie that made fun of Silence of the Lambs, and it's just not funny. And
isn't that the same
one of the worst?
The same guys that did Go Tell the Spartans?
No, it's before those days. This is like mid 90s. But yes, all those were terrible. Those Bruin spoof movies. This isn't really a spoof movie, though, is it? It's just a bizarre.
It's trying to be a spoof.
It does reference a couple of other classic films, like the whole horse carriage chase scene was a reference to the chariot race in Ben-Hur, or I'm pretty sure that Mrs. Danger's, the creepy housekeeper, was a reference to Mrs. Danvers from the 1940 Rebecca, because she's weird and she's besotted with her mistress to a homosexual degree. And there are probably a whole bunch of other references in there. None of them were good, though. None of them landed.
I'll tell you something funny that happened when I was watching it as well. It kept going out of sync. So it became like this sort of like bad Jackie Chan dubbed movie where, the characters were all sort of speaking, but the dialogue was coming slightly later or slightly early. So it wasn't syncing up properly. And that kept happening, probably because I kept pausing it because I was going, oh, this is dreadful. I'm going to carry on working. And then I'd come back and it would be out of sync when I'd watch a bit more half an hour later.
Nah, it happens with some of the crappy copies online. That's what happened with like Spider-Man and the other Orient movie, Spider-Man and the Dragons Challenge, that 70s TV movie.
I remember
the version I watched was like, there would be scenes where like the audio would be off by 2 seconds, but then we'd cut to like some dialogue, and that would be like on point. It was weird. It was choppy.
Yeah, this was the same. I mean, that did make it fairly comical, but totally unintentionally. I will give them props that the scene where the water comes out the lift is quite well done.
They had some very expensive looking practical effects, like the Lee destroying the Chinatown on accident, or the elevator scene with all the water, or a few of the stunts like driving the police car off the pier onto the beach. I'm like, that must have cost a lot of money. I'm sorry it was for this film.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell that the actors in certain scenes, I started sort of watching to see who's most uncomfortable during this scene, and it was quite obvious that everyone was quite uncomfortable. Northern and Critical, did you get around to watching this?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing earlier today.
My apologies.
It's not the worst piece of homework you've ever given me. I thought it was just about worth watching for the novelty value of seeing a very, very young Michelle Pfeiffer and Richard Hatch try to play this kind of klutzy slapstick comedy couple, I guess.
Wow, look at her. Jesus.
Yeah.
She has aged really well. She has.
She actually wasn't too bad in the film.
No, I'm not quite. There's loads of tropes in it, isn't it? You've got the really angry police chief, and it's just, you got the bumbling grandson, and it just all seemed a little bit cheap and silly, I guess is the way I would put it. It's
strangely lacking of Oriental actors.
Well, yeah, completely. I mean,
Oriental. That's funny.
I don't know how offensive it would be. I mean, obviously, no, like Twitter would not like this film these days, but I guess back then it was kind of.
I recall seeing this with my parents on TV, and my mum getting annoyed, and she was a massive Peter Ustinov fan.
Because apparently there's like 40 of these films. There's a lot of them.
There's like 46 or 47, and this was the very last one, so it killed the whole Charlie Chan franchise stone dead.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not many franchises that run for 47 films. So was Peter Ustinov always Charlie Chan, or was it somebody else? Okay.
No, it was mostly between like 1930 and 1950 was when both of them came out.
Yeah, a lot of them came out in the 30s.
So see, that would make more sense. That would because more than anything else, this film just felt really, really, really dated.
Yeah. I wonder how, if we watch one of the ones that came out in 1936, I wonder how dated.
Less offensive.
Yeah, that would feel. Charlie Chan was played by an actor called Warner Orland.
Okay.
In a lot of those films, he didn't do all of them, but he did a fair chunk. Peter Ustinov had played the character before because I remember seeing him in an earlier film. But this is Warner Orland. That name also doesn't scream Oriental
as well.
Well,
yeah,
Boris Karloff.
36,
yeah. Charlie Chan at the opera.
So we're talking like 45 years later, they've tried to make another one. So, yes.
Yeah, I mean, but I think the last one before this was probably in the 70s. I'd need to check, but
right, okay.
Anna's got that information. Critic Cow, your thoughts on it?
Just that it was worth it for the novelty of seeing Richard Hatch just play this complete fool.
Yeah.
Which is something he doesn't normally do. And a very, very young Michelle Pfeiffer. Obviously, you say Angie Dickinson's the she wasn't the Queen, was she? She was the Mrs. What's her name?
Well,
no, she was the Queen. She was the Dragon Queen.
Was the Queen.
Yeah, she was the Dragon Queen. Yeah,
she was the Dragon Queen.
It's funny for a movie titled "The Curse of the Dragon Queen." There's almost none of the Dragon Queen in it, and she has almost no bearing on the plot in the end.
No, that's it. Yeah. It's sort of about the curse that she placed on them, but even that doesn't really do anything.
Roddy McDowell bombing around in his wheelchair as well.
That did get a chuckle out of me where they sped up his wheelchair and racing down the road.
I mean, that face must have been his "what am I doing in this movie" expression.
I was in Planet of the Apes, now I'm in this.
Yeah, it was not good. Yeah, I mean, Northern, got anything to add about it before we move on?
No, I've not even seen this. I've heard about it before. I know Christopher Lee actually played him once as well in this movie. And the fact, coincidentally, you're talking about Peter Estavanov. I can't pronounce his fucking name. Sorry about that. But I've just watched the Disney Robin Hood with him as Prince John as well. And he's so much better in that movie, I'm guessing.
I like that poster. Actually, I've seen that post. I like that with each different characters kind of, tied to her fingers. It's kind of cool.
Well, most of these old posters usually are very visually appealing, though. They're always very creative and imaginative. Unlike
they got to trick you. They got to trick you to rent the movie. Yeah.
The one you showed earlier, Lance, was absolutely a trick. The one that had the feet sticking out of the foil wrap person, because the baked potato murder was one of the bizarre murders that was mentioned in passing for about 20 seconds and was not part of the film. And this poster would trick you into thinking that you get to see, maybe this is the pattern that the bizarre killers do it now. Nothing
Funny
that
enough,
the rest of them are just stabbings.
That drawing of
just
Peter
like when
Ustinov is based upon him seeing the final cut of the film.
Well, it's like when you go rent, you rent some monster movie because it's got this awesome monster painting on the front cover, and then you take it home and you're like, monster's not in the movie. Some garbage.
Yeah. Well, I'd be pretty upset, I think, if I was renting something on the basis that I'm expecting to see feet sticking out of a pie, and I don't get that. That would definitely upset me.
This used to come on Sundays, like on the WFLX channel, like in the afternoon and stuff. They would play stuff like this.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of found it by accident last week. I can't remember.
This was my fault because I mentioned The Scarlet Pimpernel, which I quite liked.
That was it.
Directed
It was
by
all
Clive Donner in
Blame her.
1982, and this was the movie he'd done immediately before it. And what flash! I still recommend The Scarlet Pimpernel. It's really good and nothing like this film.
Thanks a lot, Anna.
What is he up to? So yeah, I take responsibility.
Yes, we're so pleased that you put us through that. Well,
I've seen worse.
I mean, I don't know. I'm hard pushed to think of too many things that I've seen that are worse. But,
You've made us watch worse.
Well,
you've made us watch worse in the last month. Well,
right.
Yeah, Ice Road 2: The Reckoning, or whatever the fuck you had us watch a couple months ago.
That was pretty bad.
I'd managed to remove that one from my brain.
Yeah,
that Liam Neeson film the other day.
That film was terrible. That film was terrible, but it was also watchable. Yeah, I remember people saying, actually, I had fun watching this, even though it was shit. Whereas I didn't have fun watching this, and it was shit.
Hey, what do you call a potato on the internet? A YouTuber. I'm sorry.
Very good. Okay, ratings out of 10.
I'd say a 9 out of 10 easy for this, easily. I love me some good racist Asian humor. That makes me happy.
It's not even fun racist though.
Oh, you get to decide what's the fun racism?
So Anna, what's your rating on this?
I give it a 2 out of 10, and that's generous.
Yeah,
there's not much to recommend
do
this
it for
film.
you. Wow.
It doesn't even have the fun racism.
It's a 2 out of 10 from me. What about you, Enzo?
I didn't watch it. Remember, I skimmed it and said no.
Enzo's the smart one here.
Clever man.
Oh, that's an unrateable, which is still a rating technically.
I'll give it a 4 because, as I
So
said, the novelty of seeing those two actors very much against type.
Same.
Oh. Okay. All right. Critical?
Yeah, 4, as I said. The novelty of seeing Richard Hatch and Michelle Pfeiffer rolling about and slapsticking all over the place was entertaining enough, but it's not a good film by any metric.
Sure. All right, let's move on because Toxic's here to talk about one movie and he's got limited time.
Yep.
So this is the latest sci-fi action film from War Machine. I was about half an hour into it when I said, hey, this is RoboCop meets Predator, or Predator meets Lone Survivor, meets RoboCop.
It was Predator with a robot.
It's basically Predator with a robot. For anyone who hasn't seen it, this alien, a group of Rangers are doing their final test. Is it Fort Bragg or one of those places where they do the final tests? And they don't have live ammunition. It's not a live fire exercise. And then they're there to blow up a ship as part of the mission, a downed plane. This alien ship crash lands. they accidentally think that's the thing they've got to blow up. They put a charge on it and activate it seemingly.
Yeah,
and
it kind of has like this Tropic Thunder Three Amigos vibe because they think this is all part of the test.
Has a bit of that going on at the beginning. Yeah, they think it's part of the test, and then shit happens. Lots of people get killed, and then we find out later that there's more going on as well. Purely as a now going into this, my expectations were very low. I was not looking for a military accurate movie here. This is straight off the bat when I saw the trailer. I'm like, okay, this is science fiction, so I expect a degree of realism, but not a lot. So I was less bothered than perhaps some of my panel by the not so military accurate things about it. But there were some things that bothered me about it. But I thought the first sort of half an hour of the film was pretty solid. First 40 minutes, pretty good. I like the alien robot killing machine. Kind of thought it was a cool design. We've kind of seen these things before. There's been a lot of similar movies to this. If you root around the kind of low budget sci-fi stuff that's out there, there are some things that are a bit similar to this. There was a film called Apex that came out straight to video in the 80s, where there's these kind of robot machines stalking guys in a sort of futuristic war, but it's pretty much the same plot as this. But then they did this car chase sequence with an APC, and that sequence just kind of was so over the top that it just totally took me out of the film. At that point I stopped caring because I couldn't tell who was alive and who was dead, apart from Anna Richardson. And then at that point, it was a movie that kind of just was on in the background rather than me actually watching it. Up until that point, I was fairly engaged, but once it just kind of just went too stupid, that disengaged me completely. I thought the scene where the Rangers are forced down the hillside, that really reminded me of Lone Survivor, where the guys go down that really steep hill and you hear every bone breaking. That was kind of a recreation of that, done really well, has to be said. Some really good sort of practical stuff there. But I won't give my rating yet, but it was, like I say, this is a film of two halves for me. I liked the first half. I thought the second half sucked. So, but I like Alan Richardson in the movie. He can hold a movie. He's got great presence. He's good at these kinds of roles, and I thought he did a good job. So the supporting cast were also pretty good as well. Some big actors in some very small roles, and then a lot of no-name actors in some supporting roles who did a really great job. So the acting was fine. But yeah, it wasn't as good as I was hoping it was going to be. It was pretty average. But you know what? It was okay. It was just past the time for me. So Enzo, give me your thoughts.
I thought both halves of this movie sucked. It was I don't understand why it's being pushed and hailed as like this awesome movie. It's basically like, yeah, like you said, Predator with a robot, but it's way worse than that because like I remember when the trailer came out, we were like, oh, it'd be cool if it was like the robot is actually like part of the test and they just send these men to the meat grinder to get killed, and anti-war. But instead it's an alien invasion, which makes it way stupider.
That bit was really dumb. I wasn't gonna
because then at the end you're like, oh, there's like fucking thousands of these things coming, and we're like, okay, well, we're fucked, right? Like what? And then on top of that, the design of the thing is so stupid because it's like it's a bipedal like tank, but it's like nerfed constantly. Like at the beginning, the first thing it does is scan everybody. It's like, well, it's a good thing that wasn't like a fatal weapon that it just did. Like it would have killed everybody right there. But instead, it's got to hunt everyone like lumberly and these single cannon shots that don't penetrate tanks and stuff. You would think it was an alien that could just like vaporize a tank and make it just disappear, whatever. Who cares? You ever see Iron Giant? That kind of stuff. Also, it's another one of these dumb movies where everyone's hailing it like it's this machismo action masculine movie, but it's another one of these dumb fucking horror movies where the monster is a metaphor for the protagonist's trauma. And it's like, dude, I get it. He's got to like bring his brother across the lines, and because his metaphorical brother is wounded and his real brother died, and they just keep bringing it up. It would have been better if it was just like, hey, we're shipping you boys out right now, and we just get to meet these people, and then the robot shows up, and they have no idea what the fuck it is, and it's just killing everybody, and and I did like the gore. The gore is over the top. That's like the one thing I was like pleased about. I was like, oh, it didn't pull any punches with the gore, but everyone's like constantly getting like lucked out at the convenient times, and then get kills, and the whole point is like, I was thinking, oh, well, the idea is it's instead of Predator, where Arnold Dutch is all alone, you do the thing with like a squadron and like teamwork. But really, it's just about like, everybody dies anyway, except the one wounded guy, the black guy who teaches him how to be a leader, a motivator. I don't know, man. It was just full of tropes, full of cliches, and I'm just very suspicious about why it's being like promoted so heavily. If you're gonna sit there and tell me this,
I know you're on limited time, so give us your take on it, and also just for the benefit of people watching, Toxic served in the military, so it can also come at it.
Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of like technical errors right now, a lot of goofs.
Not as many as you might think. Not as many as you might think. But
tell us the ones you spotted.
But so the crux of it is this: if you're going, so like, there's a really fun movie called Battle Los Angeles, which is just a bunch of Marines fighting aliens and shit.
Yeah, that's. Do you know what? I really like that film.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. Now, if you're a jerk, you can sit there and go, well, the M14 doesn't have that many rounds, and the C4 they that wouldn't have done that. Like, if you want to be a jerk about it, you can do that, but that's really pedantic and stupid. But see, conversely, they're making this movie, this recruitment tool movie, they're making this movie seem like, because they did that whole first 30 minutes where it's like straight up war trauma shit happens, and then this guy's going to RIP school and he wants to be a ranger and yada yada, and so they're trying so hard for realism, but ignoring huge things that anybody that spent even 5 minutes in the military would go, dude, they don't do that. Like, that's dumb. Including and not limited to the fact that it's in Fort Benning, Georgia, not in the Colorado fucking mountains. Like, if they could have done any other thing, they could have done special forces training, or they could have done, hey, we had to send you to a specialty school first instead of making it all about the Rangers. I bet Rangers are just cussing this movie out right now with this. The whole point of him being older and
Ranger sounds cool,
Yeah, Ranger sounds cool. Yeah, the whole thing, let's get the Ranger tab and blah blah blah. And they wouldn't wash him out for trying too hard and not, that's stupid. I did like the beginning of it where he's basically an engineer and he's doing engineer shit and he's out in the field, and when you're out there for so long, they do let you grow a beard and it's not a big deal. And that battle that they reference in there, that actually happened where like an entire platoon was wiped out and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Now of course they changed stuff or whatever for not hurting people's fifis. But yeah, then we get to the actual like Ranger training. They would not be letting him pop pills. They would not be letting him wear a leg brace and have that much damage. They would not be letting someone his age do that. That's a young guy's game. It goes paratrooper, Ranger, Special Forces in the Army. That's the tier list of where it goes. And
of course there had to be a little bald girl there too. Of course.
Well, okay, so I did look that up because when I was in, we didn't have females in the Rangers, but apparently they've been lowering the standards enough to let women in for quite some time. So there is actually like 20 or so female. What do you want me to do? I didn't do it. I don't work for the War Department. They've been lowering the standards to let women in for a long time. Women don't do the same thing we do in the military. I'm sorry. What do you want me to say? You want me to lie and say that they do?
No.
Okay.
Anyway, carry on.
So that is fairly accurate. You will have one pop in there every now and then. And I was glad they didn't boss babe her up. I got more of a Southern Comfort vibe from it with the fact that they all had blanks and so useless weapons and stuff, and they couldn't really do much. That vehicle you mentioned is called an armored security vehicle, which are ASV or Guardian, which I actually tested out in the Army when I was still in. And they're pretty cool. They're pretty good vehicles. They're part APC, part like mini tank type things, and they're pretty awesome. Although I don't think they would have been a match for this thing. I feel like they just put chat GBT or AI into this and was like, what would a ranger do in this situation? And it just shot out the whole, lone survivor thing, falling off the mountain.
Was the numbers thing accurate? Did they do that?
The what?
You no longer have a
Numbers.
name, you're a number.
Yes. Okay. So yes, that's true. That's true. You just get a number and then that's all you are. And that's it. And then if you wash out, because it's a volunteer thing, you get sent back to your parent unit. That's actually, side note, little personal thing. I was in so much trouble in the Army as a military policeman and got sent to the paratroopers, and with the hope that I would wash out and get, completely kicked out, because they said you can no longer be an MP, you can only be a paratrooper. And so they were hoping I'd wash out so that I wouldn't be able to stay in the Army because they couldn't kick me out. Basically very similar to Richardson's stuff. I do agree he has great screen presence. But it's hard to not see him as Jack Reacher in this, but I did like I did like the motivation and stuff that he had, and he wasn't like this, he's tough as shit, but he's not like, he's kind of like mentally messed up a little bit, and it's juxtaposed against how like goofy and friendly and fun he was at the beginning of the movie, and then later he's all messed up. But yes, I 100% agree with Enzo about the whole, the machine is the the allegory for I lost my brother and this is my trauma and I must overcome it in order to overcome myself. And it's just the interview that Damon and Ben Affleck did about their movie, their made for Netflix movie, saying how like they have to really hold people's hands in order to make these movies happen because people don't pay attention, is really, and for those of us like on this panel who are a little bit more sophisticated, we watch a lot more movies and we critique them in this way. You see it coming. All the people that you see at the beginning, right? All the ones that they make a point to say, hey, number 15, hey, number 7, hey, number, there's going to be the main characters that survive to into the second and third act, right? That's going to happen because why else would they
that's kind of setting them up,
have dialogue.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that's basically it. It's very, that's not where they do RIP school, and they don't call it RASP, they call it RIP, Ranger Induction Program. They do it at Fort Benning in Georgia. I don't know. They definitely, even with just blanks, they would not throw their weapon away. They just wouldn't do that. That's crazy. And then there was like a bunch of scenes where Richardson was like holding his weapon like it was luggage. A soldier, soldiers don't do that. That's like a day one thing that gets like drilled into your head and things like that. I did like the idea that they believe that they're doing the mission, and they see the thing and think it's something that's just like set up or whatever.
Yeah.
But did we really need our hands held so hard? You remember Predator, where they just had that one tiny little scene at the very beginning where you see the alien ship land, and then they don't mention it again, and so you forget about it until the alien starts popping up. But we had scene after scene where everything that was on TV was the stupid meteorite.
There's an asteroid circling the planet, by the way.
For sequel, that's never going to happen.
Yeah,
probably.
No, they're saying it will.
I think you might,
they might. Yeah, I don't know, Northern. I hate to disagree with you, but I think this is like they are dick writing this movie so hard in every media that you. I finally just had to watch it because everybody was talking about it. I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna watch and see. Maybe it's and listen, Richardson has great presence. I don't know what they bothered Esai Morales and Dennis Quaid for, just to put them in nothing burger roles as the gruff sergeant major and first sergeant of the regiment and stuff.
Well, they've got contracts to do the second and third movies.
I see. Okay.
Possibly add on a sequel.
Take your paycheck for a couple of days,
but yeah, that's hot take. About it.
Kathy Connor 3606. I enjoyed it, so some people liked it.
Well,
it was dumb and it was violent and it was simple.
If you've got laundry,
I just don't understand.
Yeah. Go ahead. If you've got laundry to do, you want to put something on in the background. It's not the worst thing in the world to have on. But it's really low intelligent slop. It's not what somebody said this a while ago. They said we've left woke behind and we've moved on to slop. So if you ask me, I'd prefer slop over woke, I guess. But it's just maybe it potentially they could fix some of this stuff if they do make a sequel, and maybe they could make it back. I don't know, dude. I really don't
because
know.
everyone's talking about how terrible The Bride is, and I watched The Bride because it's so bad, right? It's so woke, right? And everyone's talking about how great this is. Those two movies are equally stupid and equally terrible. They're just made for two totally, completely polar opposite audiences.
Right.
You've got the feminist claptrap, and then you've got this bullshit machismo, like fake action flick that just
two things can be
totally
true.
Misses the point.
Time. Yeah, two things can be true at the same time. So I completely agree with you. I don't think, if they're using this as a recruitment tool. Now, if this was some kid smoking pot in the basement or something and was like thinking about joining the army and getting his GED or something like that, this could potentially be a pretty cool. But I mean, and again, most of the stuff they were doing in the RIP training, they don't do. That's all. A lot of that was Navy SEAL shit. They were doing it. They were like, oh, what do you guys do? Well, we do a lot of pull-ups and push-ups, and oh, that's not cool enough. Let's have them holding logs up and spray them with water. I mean, they don't do shit like that. Like it's dumb. So I mean, I don't know, man. It's not. I don't want to do the military nitpick. Like I said, I love Battle Los Angeles, and it's completely great, but it's still a fun movie. This is the gore was cool. I'll agree with that. The gore was pretty cool, but I agree with Enzo again. If this thing has a laser to detect the people, why does it just kill them with the laser? Why does it have to scan them first, wait a minute, send a fax, and then
if it was an Earth weapon, if it was an army weapon, then its big cumbersome design and single round cannons could make sense. But if it's an alien, like, why doesn't it just fucking teleport or have like anti-gravity energy or any all kinds of cool space age sci-fi shit? If it's like
anal probe or
something,
something like that.
Is this going by the kind of
yet?
Is this kind of going by the Is this going by the weird logic, like similar to the aliens in Signs, where they can master space travel but can't open a fucking door?
Well, they weren't aliens in Signs. In Signs, they were
This is kind of like War of the Worlds, where it's like automated robots. But what's even funnier is it's like this ragtag team of tryouts in the woods managed to kill one without weapons. And then they get back to civilization. It's like, you need to let us know how you did it. It's like, you're telling me you haven't killed a single one of these things yet with all your jets and bombs and missiles and shit? Come on.
Yeah.
The film
you gotta jam the fuel cord reactor or whatever, and it makes it clog up or whatever. It's like, what?
Yeah, he says you've got to overload the vents, and I know this because I'm a sapper. And they're like, "Wow, you're amazing!" Even though you have several broken bones, we're going to bring you on right now to our mission.
Let me
saved a lot of lives with this information,
let
Ranger.
Northern jump in here because he hasn't had much of a chance to speak. Northern, what did you think of it?
Yeah, it's really forgettable. I mean, there is still some goodwill there, and touching on trauma and all that lot, and there is a good sense of camaraderie between the soldiers. And when it came to moments where they had to work together and adapt, it was okay. But we've kind of seen this before in better movies. Okay, we've seen this in Predator. I mean, there's one where Alan Richardson has to try and get his injured fucking, comrade to the finish line, and that was done better in The Covenant. And it's just a mishmash of stuff that was done better in other movies. It's very forgettable. Alan Richardson is very likable and charming as always. He sells the trauma really well. He's got a good character arc.
But is it a fun B movie though?
I don't know.
It takes itself too seriously.
It just felt like
too seriously.
It doesn't seem like the type of movie you just put on in the background when there's nothing on.
There's hardly any levity or. Yeah, there's hardly any levity or schlock or any of that funness. There's no titties. There's no sex appeal. It's just brooding and serious,
Right. That was the thing. That was the thing. Like, if you're good, either do it one way or the other. If you're going to make it an accurate Ranger, like school type thing or whatever, like do that. And listen, you don't go out into the woods out of contact with home, like, dude, it doesn't work like that. Like, we're maybe in the 70s they did that, but like they don't do that now. They don't just put you out in the woods and let you just they got like satellites looking at you and shit. Everybody's got a tracker, and it's and half the people would have a fucking cell phone. Even if they tell you not to, you're still going to bring your cell phone because most people aren't good at map reading anymore. So they fucking pull the GPS out on the phone. You can't stop that. Like, and that would have saved a lot of this. So like, somebody's like, hey, 81, I got my cell phone. I was gonna look at porn and wank one off in the woods during the, but here, you know, let's call the president for help real quick. And you know, like there was, or like in, you know, the contrivance they have in Southern Comfort. I don't know if any of y'all ever seen that movie with the National Guards out in the woods and they're on a training mission or whatever. Like one guy decided he was going to bring a mag full of actual rounds. Like somebody does shit like that like all the time, and that would have been really help. You know, this whole, you know, Rambo way of doing shit with this was just. It was really just unnecessary, and I mean, it has a couple good things going for it, but not enough for me to get it anything higher than. I also found
Alan Richardson distractingly huge. Like it's like
he's a big lad.
Distractingly huge.
To be fair, okay, so I'm glad you mentioned that. So in that armored security vehicle, just so you know, those things are tiny as fuck inside. Like they are tiny. Like if you are inside of them. You know, you have got, like me, I had to sit in like a special seat in it because I have big shoulders and I'm a wide guy or whatever. And that's even when I was in shape in the army. So like someone his size ain't even fit in that bitch because that thing is for like tiny people. Like it's, or maybe they've upgraded it since then. Maybe they've upgraded it since 2010. I don't know. Maybe, hopefully. But like if you're
the XL model.
Yeah, it's the XL model. So yeah, that would be.
Did anyone else found that Jeep chase just really underwhelming? Like, it just looks like.
Yeah.
I said it. That's when I zoned out. I just was. Totally.
Yeah, I mean, it was like.
The thing is, a couple of scenes earlier, they literally said that the robot shot its way through a mountain.
Yeah.
And then it can't destroy a small armor.
And then hundreds of bombs rain down on the vehicle, and it's fine.
Yeah. That just totally.
There was all those. That was when like the back of the truck blew out, and all these like CG sparks and embers are flying everywhere. And I hate that shit. Yeah. I hate that.
Yeah, and the river bit. Some of the river compositing was a bit rough.
But
I'm waiting my turn because I'm going to rip it apart.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Al.
No, it's fine. I'm waiting just because I know it goes.
Anna, go ahead.
Okay. A couple of weeks ago, I introduced you guys to the young kids' word "dad slop" to describe this genre of media, which is bitox, which I use that term very lovingly. But this is absolutely in the dad slop genre as well, because I don't know that they're very coy with how old Richton's character is supposed to be. But Alan Richton himself is 43, which is way too old. But of course they have him. He's always the first in all of their physical tests. He's always the fastest at the racing. They had some lines which I wrote down because they were so funny. Your physical strength is not in question, or you're one of the most promising candidates we've ever seen. I'm going to be real with you, son. And so it's all that. It reminded me of with that group of friends I watched Dad Slop with, which this is on the list. When we watched Terminal List, there was a line at the beginning of the first episode where someone says to Chris Pratt's character something like, "You're 40 and still tip of the spear," which this is all tying into the fantasy that all Dad Slop genre has, is like, I, an older man watching this, you know, I could still beat all the youngsters. I'm still like pretty good in shape. You know, if I just put a little work in, like all these youngins, like I could really handle all of this. And that's what the genre is selling. And so I thought it was really funny from that point of view, because he was distractingly just a little too old to be performing at the physical ability that he is. But I understand that's part of the genre, and that's probably one of the reasons why this movie's been getting such wide popularity and acclaim. And then just a couple of things, there were a couple of things that were, of course, not super realistic. Lance, you were a lifeguard once, so you know, because I was also a lifeguard, when they pulled him out of the pool, did chest compressions because he's not breathing, the military protocol would be to immediately put him in the rescue position instead of sitting him up and being like, "You're fine, dude," and then yelling at him, being like, "You're one crazy son of a bitch." And then again, when number 7 gets a catastrophic compound fracture in his femur, I've had a very similar injury, and you can't set that when the person is awake. They have to be either sedated or unconscious, because the muscle contracting in either your upper leg or your upper arm will be so strong that whoever's trying to set your bone will not physically be able to pull the shattered ends of your long bone apart to put them back together until you're completely out. And since I went through that once a few years ago. I know that that's not what was going to happen. I did like how brutal a lot of the action scenes were. You felt the impact of, you know, this team getting absolutely hammered, and a lot of the gore was
when they're rolling down the mountain, that was really well done. I props to them for that.
It does actually give it a bit of danger. It's just when you've got this big bloody CGI thing, you know, it takes away any real weight, doesn't it?
You mean you talking about the
I liked some of the nature photography. Like I said, well, Tox was like, what are they trying to be, Colorado? And again, they're pretty coy about where the location is. It was all filmed outside of Victoria, Australia, and outside of Queenstown, New Zealand. And so like the river that they cross is the same river that you see in both Fellowship of the Ring and Two Towers, as I said before. Like it's the one that Aragorn falls into. So really beautiful filming locations. And I appreciated that they got their actors out into the wilds to actually do some filming on location instead of all of it being compositing. So it had some things going for it, but overall it's not that great a film. Yeah.
Okay. Al?
This film is simultaneously it's way too dumb, while not at the same time not being dumb enough. And what I mean by that is if they had just gone all balls out and made a schlock action film with just a hint of his trauma, don't have to make it a whole part of the film, don't need the first half hour, with just loads of explosions and the really cool gore and injuries and action and stuff, this could have been a lot of fun. But it kind of wears this pretentiousness, like Enzo said, of like, oh, the robot represents the trauma and all that kind of stuff. And the problem is that the film isn't good enough to do that. The bit where his brother goes, oh man, I want to join the Rangers. I was like, 5, 4, 3, 2, splat.
I knew he was going to die quite soon, but the fact that the rocket hit them within seconds of him saying that, and that it wasn't played for comedy.
Yeah, this should.
I knew he was going to die soon too, because it was Jai Courtney, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know he was in this." And of course, he's going to die.
But seriously, I mean, every single thing in the film I saw coming. There wasn't one surprise. It was so by the numbers because, like Northern said, it's bits of other films all hashed together. I don't feel like it had an original thought. If you told me AI had written it, I would have believed you. As far as Alan Richardson goes, I don't think he's a great actor. He's got presence. He's likable, definitely. He does this weird thing that Chris Hemsworth does. Whenever he concentrates, he squints his those flinty eyes together, and he gets that kind of thousand eye stare.
He does that. Exactly he does that stupid pectoral walk. You know, he does. And
that's it.
It's not like
also
being on.
His teeth are too nice. His teeth are too like immaculate to where I take him seriously as like a hardened action dude. Like he's got like fucking veneers on or something.
But I mean, what I think he could be, because he is likable and he has got that kind of action guy charisma. Why don't we make this guy the new Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Well, I was about to say he's fairly early on in his career. And if you go back to Arnie's early career. It took Arnold a long time. And Arnold's acting is still limited, but he was able to increase his range by doing different genres, and he learned to do different techniques within the limitations that he had. I think this guy will have a greater range than Arnold as time goes on.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's
the same limitations as Arnold.
I don't know if he could do comedy in the way that Arnold did. Like, could you see him in Jingle All the Way or Kindergarten Cop?
He's
cookie down.
Reacher. He's got some pretty good gags in Reacher, some very dry gags, and he's pretty good at landing those.
He's got that deadpan delivery, hasn't he? You know, just says things in a very matter of fact kind of way, and it's very funny.
I definitely like to see him in more films. I would do. I mean, I don't think he's necessarily got the acting chops for what this film was trying to put across. But for a straight-out action film, I think he could be a lot of fun. I mean, the guy's an absolute unit. He's shown that he can be on screen and do what he needs to do effectively, like somebody like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, yeah, I'd love to see him in more stuff. But I just kind of wish this film had decided to be one thing or the other. Unfortunately,
he's pushing 45, and so this actor will only be able to maintain a physique that large for about 10 years more at max.
His knees
and
are
that's going to be hard on your
him,
body.
I'm sure.
And it's hard.
I mean, Arnie was like doing Terminator films up until 58. Like I think he's
right, but you have to understand the last day. I
You
think
could get a franchise out of this guy. I mean,
I think Commando was the last time Arnold ran in a movie because his knees are so fucked up, you know. And it's the same thing with like Alan Richardson and who else? John Cena. Like he's really muscular, but you could tell he's just like in pain all the time,
the whole time.
And the idea,
yeah.
I would like to have seen like the idea, like a screen, like a scene where Alan Richardson's character has to stop every hour to like eat eggs and protein, and he's constantly stealing. He's bullying other recruits out of their MREs so he can get those gains, you know. Like,
and he's bulk up.
But
before we move on, I want to make this point in reference to something that Enzo said earlier, because I had picked up on this myself. Just in the film's defense, they do say they destroyed the first wave before they asked Richardson's character, how did you destroy it with nothing? So it's not like the weapons of the earth have been ineffective. They have taken them out, but it obviously took quite a bit. So they want to know how they took them out without having anything.
But that's the other thing. That's the other thing that's kind of weird, isn't it? I mean, it's obviously an attack on Earth. So why deploy this machine in Bupkis nowhere?
You don't know.
But
why not
actually,
the major cities?
It's not. It's close to military installations, isn't it? Because it's part of the whole military exercise area that's all owned by the military. So,
I mean, if they do make a sequel, if they go full action, kind of Independence Day style action and everything, it could be a lot of fun.
Could be, it could be.
No, because like the message of this movie is what I had a big problem with, because the message is like, you can't. You can't, they literally say the line like, not all of us, are super silver star soldiers.
Not all of us are heroes like you.
That's
awesome.
The idea
compartmentalizing.
You shouldn't hold on to those like you should be emotional, basically. You should hang on to those losses and hang on to those
message was the Rangers, we're all going to Iran. Is that not the message of the film?
Also, how stupid are the Rangers? Like this machine gets up and stands there and flashes lights, and they'll just stand there going,
I mean,
six of them get
wiped they hang out a lot in the open. Like they hike on top of ridges, or they sit on the riverbank for a long, long time. And then every time Richardson's character is like, "We've got to keep moving, or you're gonna die." All like the other ones like seethe at him as if he's being so mean. It's like, no, you've got to get under cover. This thing keeps catching you in the open.
Lance, share my screen. This is why Alan Richardson will never be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger, because I will never let him forget that he did this when he was a young 20-something-year-old.
Mojitos!
This is an Alan Richardson song.
Oh, God.
This is a song.
He had a music career?
He tried.
That's Alan Richardson.
That's it.
Oh.
Yeah, look how
I mean, this looks a bit like one of the raves I've been to. I think that's enough. We're gonna get
here comes the hook.
Copyright
No, you won't. You won't.
You
won't. The song is not protected at all. No, you won't.
You're not
playing at all.
That one shot of the woman's ass with his face composited over it.
You missed the chorus is like muddle 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 muddle.
I know.
It's one of the worst songs ever written.
Different times, Anna. Different times. Okay, well, let's do ratings out of 10 for War Machine. Luke, I'm gonna let you go first and give us a summary of your thoughts, as I feel like you got to speak the least.
There isn't really much to say because, like I said, it's just an amalgamation of better films that have come before. Alan Richardson is very charismatic in it. He sells the trauma very well. I mean, some of the scenes where the soldiers are trying to sort of work together and he's trying to learn to be a team leader after being so removed from everyone. It's okay. There's good ideas there for a very solid emotional story here, but it's just not executed in the way that makes it memorable, or it's like a movie you watch when there's nothing else on. That's it. It's just another forgettable Netflix.
I thought the
movie.
Charlie Chan movie was the one you watched when there was nothing else on.
That does sound like something that's memorably offensive, though. Enough to watch, though. This is just kind of there. That's it. It's there. You watch the movie and then it's done. And then
what's
you
your
can't.
rating?
What my rating? Well, there is some goodwill, so maybe at least I'm still being generous here. Maybe 6 out of 10. And
Okay,
that's just
6 out of 10. I thought you'd go. I have to say, I thought you would go.
Yeah, well, it isn't insulting. It's just kind of there. That's it.
Listen, man. If I did a schlock film and it got a 6 out of 10 on a YouTube panel of fairly rigid people who are quite vish, I'd be pretty happy with that result. So
yeah, it's because I've watched a lot of films that have just infuriated the fuck out of me, and this didn't really do it. It was just
this wasn't as bad.
It was just kind of
No.
That's it.
And so, what's your rating?
I don't know, a 4, maybe. Yeah, 4. I give it a good 4.
Okay, Al.
I'll give it 5. It's, as Douglas Adams described, mostly harmless. You could just have it on in the background, but it didn't do any. All these people go, "Oh, it's the best film of the year." Oh, no, just no.
Anna.
Extremely derivative.
I'd also give it a 5 out of 10. There were elements, even though I just panned it, there were elements of it I liked, especially the camaraderie between a lot of the characters. I liked a lot of the landscapes that they were in and that they seemed to do a lot of practical effects. I admired how brutal a lot of the impacts were as this team is just getting hammered. And so that part was effective, and I was enjoying that more than I expected. And yeah, it doesn't do anything so horribly that it's, a crime. So I would say 5 out of 10 as well.
I'm gonna give it a 6. Like I said, I enjoyed the first half of the movie. There's a lot of really naff tropes in it, but it was fun in places. The gore was fun. Some of the action's good. Some of the action is too over the top. Takes me out of it.
How long was the film? Was it like almost 2 hours long?
Hour and a half.
It's only an hour and a half.
Quick to
Really?
me.
Wow.
Felt pretty quick to me. Toxic gave it 5 out of 10. So
no, I mean, all I was going to say was if it was a 2 hour film, it should be cut down to 90. Maybe it'd be better. But if it's already 90, then I can't really say that.
Yeah, I believe it was 90.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I think it was. It was not a 2 hour movie.
It does move at a fair click, so that's fair enough. Yeah.
Oh no, I lied. It was 1 hour and 46 minutes. So
okay, well, in between.
Creeping up on the 2 hour mark.
Well, at least it's not 2 hours and 20
We split
minutes.
the difference.
Most films seem to be these days. When they
All right, we've got a lot of other things to cover. Some of these we'll spend more time on than others. This one I didn't give anybody to do his homework, so I suspect I'm the only person that's going to have seen it. I'll run through this real quick. I watched this for one reason and one reason only, and that's because one of my favourite actors is in it, which is David Morrissey, who you guys may have seen in The Walking Dead, among other things. He's been in quite a lot of stuff. I met David when he just directed his first short film because it was screening at the theatre that I was working at the time, which had a little film festival on. And we got to have a great chat. But he goes back further than that in a way with me, because he did a 4-part drama series called One Summer, which if you can track it down, it's well worth watching. It's about 2 Liverpool lads who are in gangs. They get involved in a stabbing. They have to go on the run, and they run away to Wales, where they think the summer camp that they went once and had really good memories of is still going to be there, but they actually get there and it's not there. But it's like a sort of journey of self-discovery, and that was the first acting job he ever did. Now, that 4-part miniseries was directed by Gordon Flemyng, who's Jason Flemyng's dad. So it's a really interesting to look at David Morrissey's career and see where he started and to where he is now. And a lot of people recommended this to me because his performance in it was supposed to be so good. On that, I can say he did not disappoint. Absolutely excellent performance from Morrissey with a sort of slightly above average script. This is a standard 6-part Sunday night, who done it, murder mystery. A teacher of a private school who's a very rigid teacher, he might as well be the teacher in Goodbye Mr. Chips, is suspected of his wife's murder. His wife has gone missing. His wife turns out to be having an affair with another, the father of another pupil, who also plays on the rugby team, which Morrissey's character also coaches. There's a number of other plot strands. Evie Miles plays the family liaison officer who's allocated to him, but she's also trying to investigate whether he actually committed the murder or not. That's what I want to say about it, because I don't want to give too much away. It's on ITV Drama in 6 parts. I give it a 7 out of 10. If you like this kind of thing, it's a good one, but there's nothing about it that makes me say, oh my God, you guys have all got to watch this. If you like your sort of crime books, crime fiction stuff, this is nearer the top of the tree because of the quality of the acting. I don't think the script is anything particularly special. I was able to work out who the murderer was about halfway through. So there we are. Has anybody else seen it?
No, I saw it advertised, but didn't get around to checking it out.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are really rating it, but I thought it was okay. It's definitely above average, and as I say, Morrissey and Evie Miles, to be fair, who's very good in it as well, elevates the material, and the supporting cast are all great. A couple of new younger cast members in there who I'd give a shout out to, but we really don't have time, so we're going to move on. So that is gone. Now, one I think that most of us, or some of us, have seen, also dropping on Netflix, is The Dinosaurs, narrated by Morgan Freeman. Thankfully, not narrated by Obama. Who saw that one? So this is very similar to the BBC sort of documentary that we had. When was that? About 15 years ago that came out?
It's probably getting on for that now. Yeah, Walking with Dinosaurs.
Walking with Dinosaurs. Yeah, it was about 15 years ago. And this is really similar to that, but it does have some elements about it that are different. It covers a broader range of eras, the Triassic, the Jurassic, and so on and so on and so on. So one of the things that I found fascinating about this was because, bearing in mind, Walking with Dinosaurs was around, it came out not sort of Jurassic Park kind of, I think a few years after Jurassic Park. It used the same technology. So I'm guessing it was probably early 2000s. So we're now in 2025. And in episode one of this, there's a particular dinosaur that's got this kind of funny, almost like fungus on its face. And that particular dinosaur, maybe partly due to the design of it and the way it actually looked, it looks so fake compared to the rest of the dinosaurs in the show. I'm literally like watching it going, were the effects for that creature farmed out to a different production house? Because on big shows like this, where they're fully animated, that is often the case. There's normally 2 or 3 production houses. You might have one production house doing grading, and another one is animating and stuff, or rendering the animation and things like that. So the quality of the animation is not consistent in the show, which disappointed me. That aside, and I've only seen the first 3 episodes, I did really like it. I thought it was really well done. There's a lot of interesting creatures that we haven't seen before in shows of this nature, and it's a great watch. It's good fun. Al, I know you've seen the whole thing, so I'm going to let you go next.
Yeah, I've seen the whole thing. I got to say, I do agree with what you said regarding the CGI. Sometimes it's really good, especially if you're like a small
really good
creature.
for the most part. I'd say 75% of it's great.
Yeah. Like when they're focusing on the small creatures, like little fluffy, furry dinosaur type things. It was amazing. But then sometimes they try and do a bigger dinosaur, and it just looks. I mean, I thought one of them looked worse than Roberta from Jurassic Park, especially the T-Rex. That looked worse than T-Rex from Jurassic Park.
There were some effects that just were not. I mean, they weren't as good as Jurassic Park, and Jurassic Park was what, 96 or something.
Yeah, Walking with Dinosaurs was 99, by the way, so it's 25 years old.
There you go.
Scary. I enjoyed it. I thought Morgan Freeman made it quite compelling. I didn't
his
need
voice
quite
is
so much of the. I could have done with a little bit less, and I always say this, and I apologise in advance, but I could have done with a little bit less emotion and a little bit more science.
right.
It was like, oh, here's this creature, and here's its peril, and here's what it's doing, and here's like a day in the life of.
What you mean? You didn't like it when the fluffy creature got eaten?
The other thing that really annoyed me, actually, and I've got to say, Anna has just brought this to my attention, is all of the invertebrates in it are wrong.
Well,
So when
don't
they
be
show a
stealing,
millipede,
don't be
it should have
stealing
been
Anna's
3 times the
archaeological
size.
fact of the week, please.
They show Solifugo, which is a camel spider at the start, and that's wrong. They're talking 225 million years ago. So it wouldn't have looked like that. So that took me out straight away. But they were doing an awful lot of, and let's face it, with these kind of things, because we don't know what dinosaurs did, a lot of it is speculative. I would have liked a bit more information about how they came to those conclusions, rather than the day in the life of a dinosaur high drama thing that we actually got.
Now, don't spoil it with the factual stuff. We just want some big creatures. Come on.
Because I would find that fascinating. Like this scene here, for example, where they show a shark, which again is wrong, being scooped up by this dinosaur. I think it was Spinosaurus that puts its mouth in the water, and they based that upon the behavior of animals these days. And I'm just like, that's my disconnect with it all. So I thought it was all very well done. I thought Morgan Freeman made for a perfectly fine host, and although the CGI was, a little bit hit or miss, it did just feel a bit, and I'm going to sound terrible here, but it kind of felt a bit American.
Okay. Well, Morgan Freeman was in it, and he is American.
Yeah, no, but I just mean the presentation of it, I suppose.
I get it. Yeah, I get what you're saying. All right, fair
I
enough.
did enjoy it.
We'll get ratings at the end. Northern Saurus, what did you think of it?
I have not even seen this. To be honest, I must have missed the memo. But
No, it wasn't homework. I just thought you might have seen it because it was well, big advertising and all that kind of thing. But okay, you didn't see it. That's fine. Anasaurus.
Yes, I saw the first 2 episodes. I haven't seen the last 2. And kind of, again, I know more about dinosaurs than a lot of people. And so, Paleolithic life. And so I had kind of some of the same quibbles as Al did, where, again, they're making assertions about dinosaur behavior. Like, well, they're not dinosaurs in this case, but the Rhynchosaurs, which are a dinosaur predecessor. They're like, they're brutes and bullies to each other, and they do this and that. And I would like to know how they are basing it off of paleontological reconstruction of dinosaur behavior, which can be done to some extent, but I'd like to see more of the sources for why. And one thing that confused quite a lot of people that I saw people asking about afterwards is they talk quite a bit about dinosaurs versus ancient reptiles, and a lot of people say, aren't dinosaurs reptiles? And yes, they are. And they don't make it super clear that they're talking about dinosaurs as a clade of reptiles distinct from different types of reptiles that aren't dinosaurs. So the clade that includes, it's Lepidosaurians or something that includes snakes and such, and then a different clade that includes turtles. And then, they play into a lot of tropes of like sharks and other cartilaginous fishes never changing evolutionarily, which isn't true at all. They are evolving at the same rate as anything else. Their morphology stays pretty much the same. But anyway, about the show itself, a couple of things I really did like is that they do a lot of excellent landscape photography, and those are real landscapes. If you go into the credits, you can see where they've done a lot of excellent drone and aerial photography, and then they've credited. So like right in the desert sequence in the first episode, I knew those rocks instantly because once again, it was Wadi Rum in Jordan, where every film ever has been filmed and where I excavated. And so I knew it instantly, and then went to the credits and was like, yeah, the Royal Film Commission of Jordan, or where the pterosaurs are flying and the end end of the first episode, that's all footage from Bryce Canyon, which is a place I've camped in many, many times, more times than I can count. And they've just added some digital trees and stuff. So I really liked the compositing for all of these real landscapes that they did. And it really helped it to feel a little less sterile than entirely digital environments would.
Sure.
I felt like you, Lance, that some of the dinosaurs looked a little wonky, and especially the way that they did digital lighting off of their skin looked really strange and unnatural to me some of the time. But overall, I thought it was fun. Everyone loves Morgan Freeman's voice, and it's meant to, I think, more pique people's interest in paleontology than to be solidly educational, which we've had so many educational programs on dinosaurs. I think this is an interesting one. So I'm excited to see the other 2 episodes.
Okay, fantastic. Enzo, have you seen it? Oh.
No. Morgan Freeman did not see the dinosaur movie, I'm afraid to say.
Okay, cool. Well, ratings out of 10. Al, you've seen the whole thing, so...
Yeah, I've seen the whole thing. It goes right through to the natural conclusion of what this story would be.
Don't spoil the ending.
I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7 overall.
There are dinosaurs still existing in a valley somewhere. I'm telling you, I saw it on this animation.
Well, actually, Lance, not to spoil it, but that is kind of the focus of it. Is they're like, well, in a way, the dinosaurs are still here because they're the ancestors of modern birds. So it kind of ends on a hopeful note.
Oh, not convinced. Sorry, Al, you're rating out of 10.
No, I'll give it a 7, but I mean, that is a 7 from the perspective of somebody who just wanted a little bit more of the behind the scenes science and a bit more fact and a little bit less drama. You could push it to an 8 if you weren't bothered about that kind of stuff, I think.
Anna?
I also, not to just copy Al, but I give it a 7 for exactly the same reasons. I was really enjoying it. I liked seeing all of the ILM work, all of the work that ILM was doing, but my personal preference would have been to be more educational, and then I know just a little too much to know where some things are inaccurate, and it bothered me a bit.
I'll give it 8 out of 10 because I've seen Dino Shark versus Croctopus, and therefore I know that everything in this is accurate as hell. No, I was engrossed, and that was good enough. But yeah, I get there were a few niggles. It would have got a high rating if the animation had been to the standard it should have been, considering where we are today.
Obviously, if they put an accurate Mega Arachne in there, would have been a 10 out of 10, goes without saying. But
listen, if we can have a young Chuck Norris, fighting bad guys with AI, well, I'm pretty sure we can have accurate CGI dinosaurs.
And they started out right off the bat with the thing is like the Tyrannosaurus Rex shows up and is instantly the hero by eating one of the other dinosaurs that's been set up as like a bad man. And so it's like, so you love the T-Rex, right? Everyone loves the T-Rex. And it's like, oh, you're playing on that trope immediately.
That was cheesy. That was cheesy as fuck, I've got to admit.
Also, was it me or did the T-Rex babies look a little bit on the small side? I'm pretty sure they hatch bigger than that if they're going to grow to 30 foot long.
I don't know what their weight at birth is supposed to be. One other thing, they started out in the beginning with the thing that all dinosaurs movies do, where they have tons and tons of different species of megafauna all in one environment along a river, all together and eating.
Oh, they're all kind of chatting and having lunch together and stuff.
And that does, I mean, they wouldn't necessarily, if they're all herbivores, be attacking each other, but you wouldn't see that anywhere. They kind of do the safari watering hole thing, which you only ever see that around watering holes in the deserts, because that's one of the only places where there are resources for miles. But with megafauna of that size, and these are, dozens to hundreds of tons each animal, there's just not enough vegetation to support all of this diversity in one spot. So you wouldn't ever see them all crowded together like that. But every dinosaur film does it because you want to see big herds of a whole bunch of different species all together for the benefit of your viewers. It's just dinosaurs wouldn't have behaved like that, and they wouldn't have hung out in that density, especially interspecies.
All right. Well, we're gonna move on. But overall, that's the recommendation, I think. Before we get on to our next film, I want to give a friend of the channel, someone who's been on the channel, a shout out and of congratulations. Gail Ann Hurd, along with Jim Cameron at the Saturn Awards last night, received the George Pow Memorial Award, celebrating the 40th anniversary of Aliens, and they were reunited with the surviving cast. So if you take a look at that, you can see that we've got Frosty is there. I think
Vasquez.
You've got Drake.
No Sigourney Weaver.
That's Carrie. That's Carrie who played Newt. Carrie Henn who played Newt on the left. I'm not sure who that is behind her. Who is that? Paul Reiser? I'm not sure.
No.
Yeah, he's the one with the cigar, isn't he? I think. Yeah, the guy behind Gale on Head, anyway.
It's Gorman, isn't it?
Yeah, the guy behind Gale Ann Hurd is Frost.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not Paul Reiser.
The lady behind Vasquez is the medic Dietrich.
Yep.
The guy to the left, I'm not sure, but I think he might be Wesbowski, or one of the other Marines. But I don't know who the guy with the glasses is next to Carrie Henn. Can't tell who that is. But apologies to the actor in question for us not recognising you.
Who's George Pow?
George Pow.
He's
the person that that's the Memoriam Award. In answer to that question now, Google is your friend.
I'm just looking it up now. Hungarian-American animator and film director. There you go.
But I think
Worlds, Time Machine, When Worlds Collide.
Yeah.
So he's done quite a bit of science fiction.
Yeah. When Worlds Collide. What a great movie that is. I just want to say congratulations to Gail, because also she's a fan of the channel. Hopefully we'll get her back on one day. And she's still producing stuff, and long may that continue. And of course, congratulations to James Cameron, one of my favourite directors. I've said it before and I'll say it again on this channel. I am a fan of the Avatar series. I don't hate them as much as everybody else. In fact, I love them.
They can make a fourth one and I'll go see it.
I especially like the first one.
I am engaged, entertained, and I really like what he's doing with the technology, Lance. I think it's he still captures performance. It's not all CGI.
At the end of the day, films wouldn't be where they are now without the massive contribution that he's made, and also the massive contribution that Gail's made as well. So there's Gail with some of the Walking Dead cast and other people. You've got
Alex Winter, Bill S. Quest, Bill S.
Yeah. So congratulations to them all. I was fantastic, and if you haven't heard already, Gail Ann Hurd's been on the channel. We've done an interview with Gail. She's been on the channel twice actually, because she came on for the Ron Underwood interview, and
cool.
I hope to get her back at some point this year. But I want to make sure that we've got a particular thing we want to talk to her about. So there's
her hand appears in Aliens.
It does, firing the gun that kills shooting the alien's head. Also, shout out to our good friend Mr. Drinker, who went to the Hail Mary premiere today. He was there earlier this evening, and early reports suggest the film is up to par with the book. So
scrubs up all right for a Scotsman, didn't he?
He's had his hair done. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, well,
I think it'll be a harder adaptation than The Martian, but I'm hoping it's good. I really am.
I just watched The Martian again the other day, actually, and thoroughly enjoyed it.
It's a good film.
Yeah, great film.
All right, let's talk about another great film, The Bride. Who's seen it apart from Enzo? Anyone else apart from Enzo? No? Okay, Enzo, take the reins.
It wasn't good. It was weird because it was both gratuitous and very boring. And it was just like I said, just like how Alan Ritchson's movie just hit all the notes you knew it was gonna hit. This one did the same thing. And it's well made. They put a lot of effort into it. I loved Christian Bale's Frankenstein makeup and his Frankenstein appearance and stuff, but I don't know. It was just a really weird movie, and pretentious is how I describe it, and smelling its own farts. Jessie Buckley, possessed by the spirit of Mary Shelley herself. Mary Shelley like
Yeah,
communicates
I
to
heard
her
this on
from
the Judas
beyond the
video.
grave.
Like Mary Shelley's ghost appears.
Very retarded.
Isn't that
and I-
something against the idea of consent of a woman possessing another woman and forcing her to commit crimes?
Yeah,
That seems a little strange.
She has this like she does this obnoxious split personality performance where she's speaking in an American accent and she's Ida the bride, and then every once in a while she starts talking in a fucking fucking Mary Shelley accent. It's very bad. And then, you know, the premise, I remember hearing about it thinking it sounded neat. You know, we're doing The Bride of Frankenstein meets what's it called? Bonnie and Clyde. You know, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not really, and yeah, the movie's very gay. That's the other thing. There's a lot of like there's a part where early in the movie where Frankenstein is walking around and he sees a bunch of like, I don't know, gay people like partying in an alley. Like they're outcasts just like he is. You know, it's just like, oh my God.
Oh, good Lord.
And then they go to this like debauchery nightclub that's like in an alley, like under a bridge. And it's just, it was very, I don't know. It was very contemporary, to say the least. But I don't really want to talk about this. This movie sucked. I want to talk about.
Well, you're the only one who's seen it, so give us your rating out of 10, and we can move on.
I would give it another 4 out of 10. Like I said, this movie and War Machine were both very similar in the fact that they are low effort slop made for stupid people of a specific spectrum.
Stop making £90 million in the case of The Bride. If only I had such a budget to play with.
And it made 7 million.
The thing I did want to talk about, and I don't want to spoil it, is The Chair Company. I watched The Chair Company, which was one of the most batshit insane things I've ever seen in my life. It's a combination of psychological horror and surrealist mystery, as well as cringe comedy, and it's all wrapped up in this absurdist. Like I said, it's like a panic-inducing, never-ending mystery, and basically, it should be watched as in one piece as a 4-hour movie. I could not imagine watching this on a weekly basis, especially because they're 30-minute episodes. No answers. You get no answers. Do not expect the big mystery. It's like you're just unraveling a sweater by pulling at the thread, and you're just unraveling it, and it just kind of leads to nothing. It's just like a dog chasing his own tail. But
is it one and done? Or are they doing a sequel or what? It's just
apparently there is a season 2 coming. Maybe it definitely ends on a weird cliffhanger. Like I said, it doesn't answer. It just asks more questions than answers, and it's but it's all about just weird cringe comedy and just bizarre creative choices. That's basically the whole show. Is just like, what the fuck? It's very Tim and Eric. I think you should leave now. What's his name? Tim Robinson. It's very much, if you like Friendship, if you thought that was a weird, funny movie, then check out this show. It is.
You sure about that?
Yeah, it's so insane, dude. It's so insane. For instance, I don't want to spoil too much, but like, for instance, he's having he goes to have lunch with this quote unquote friend he's made. And he's like this weird, like mafia kind of guy, Italian kind of old school kind of wise guy, and he's a weird character. And for no reason whatsoever, like the neighbors that are in his apartment building or whatever are like screaming and fighting like nonstop. Every time you're in his apartment, there's just neighbors screaming behind the walls, and it's never addressed. It's Lynchian, David Lynchian. It's very experimental.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you should check it out.
So it's a certain amount of sort of surrealist nature to it then.
Absurdist, surrealist, satirical. Lou Diamond Phillips is in it, and who else is in it? A few others.
Gosh, I thought he was dead.
No, he's still around.
There was a script going around Hollywood. I think it was towards the end of the 80s and early 90s, and it was going round and round. It was called The Tourist. not the film with William Hurt, which was The Accidental Tourist.
Right.
And it was about a guy who discovered that there was a whole society kind of living in this almost parallel world next to us, but kind of underneath us. And there were various places where you could travel over to it and then come back again. Sometimes it'd just be something simple like a door. And that script got blacklisted, not because there was anything wrong with it or a writer was previously whatever, some Nazi or something like that. It got blacklisted because it went into development and sort of crashed so many times, a bit like what happened with Jodorowsky's Dune. It started to be considered to be unfilmable. And I wondered if this is something that got developed out of that.
No. This I could give you a brief synopsis. Basically, the show's kind of like Breaking Bad. Okay, I'll give you that much. It's very much like Breaking Bad, where this guy has an incident and he just goes into this downward spiral, hanging out with these unsavory characters. But what happens is the basic gist is he's a developer. And he's working on a project like a mall or something. And he's giving a big presentation and he has a seat on the stage and his chair collapses under him. And it sends him on this conspiracy mystery he has to solve. Well, like, for instance, one of the side plots is like when he falls down, like, this older lady from like accounting is like standing over him and he sees up her skirt and she notices that and she still reports him to HR even though it was an accident and shit. And it's a very bizarre HR process to get through the red tape and get cleared that you're not a threat to your employee. There's just nonstop insanity with this show. I can't even begin to express it in words. You just have to watch it and experience it yourself. But yeah, it's basically this crazy conspiracy involving a chair company. Allegedly. I think that's what it's about. That's what the show says it's about. I don't know about that.
Okay. Rating out of 10.
Yeah. I don't know. It's difficult to say without the I'd have to watch it again, and I would love to see a season 2, but as it stands, just the season 1 for what it is, I would give it a solid 7 or 8. I give it an 8 just for how quotable it is. I have a feeling like if this was in the old cable days and millions of people saw this, like it would be one of those stupid like Chappelle shows where just people shouting these absurdist quotes at each other. Let me see if I could come up with a few. I watched it all last night in a big, and it's all a big blur now. Trying to think about what I watched.
It's a series of how many episodes?
So it's 8 30-minute episodes. So it's a big 4-hour movie.
Big 4 hours.
No jerking. Yeah. You stay over here. No jerking it. Not even edging. Various lines like, oh my god, she wants popcorn, she has some, she wants more. Oh, what was it? Ouch. What? No, she says, "Oh fuck." And he's like, "What?" It's like, you handed that paper to me really hard. Like, just weird, dude. It's the weird ass show. I can't.
What's the rating out of 10?
Like I said, I'd give it an 8.
An 8. Okay. An 8. Yeah. An 8 for the chair company.
This is a Coke bar. Everyone here is a Coke head.
I'm going to watch it, so we might talk about it again next week. Who has seen Cold Storage?
I almost watched.
I have seen Cold Storage.
Ow!
This is the one with the kid from Stranger Things.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
The freezer.
And in all honesty, all he had to do in this film was not be Steve.
Are there any piss stains on Liam Neeson's pants in this movie?
No, he's still doing all right. He does manage to not be Steve. He basically plays an ex-felon, kind of layabout character. Georgina Campbell plays this kind of single mum working these night shifts at this storage facility, so you can see where that's all going. You can tell it's the producer of Zombieland because it uses a lot of the same tricks. Unfortunately, this film does absolutely everything half-assed. So it starts off with the obligatory sort of flashback scene where you find out, what happened to Liam Neeson's character back in the day before he then, crops up again later in the film as this old, gruff veteran. But you don't get enough of any of it. Like, you get these mutated rats and they're on screen for 3 minutes and nothing happens with them. And then you get a mutated deer and that's on screen for like 5 minutes. It just doesn't really do anything to the point where it becomes an intrinsic part of the movie. It's like lots of ideas that never really quite materialized is how I would describe Cold Storage. Like, Liam Neeson he spends most of the film traveling to the cold storage, if you know what I mean.
Right.
It doesn't really get there to the last act of the movie. It just seems like it was, it should have been developed a little bit more. There's nothing particularly horrible about it, I guess, but at the same time, there's nothing particularly memorable about it. The performances are average. Liam Neeson does okay. He's a veteran actor. He can do this in his sleep. Joe Keery does manage to not be Steve, so well done. I've not seen Georgina Campbell before, but she was fine. And there's some other actors in there that are fine, including one British actress that I can't remember the name of, who's been in stuff before, and it was a bit weird to see her in this. But yeah, it never quite goes full zombie. It never quite goes full comedy. It's very uncommitted.
Is it a fun watch?
It's an okay watch. I didn't regret watching it. I just felt that it never lived up to its full potential at any stage, unfortunately.
What's your rating?
It just felt like it should have been more in every single aspect of it. It should have gone
we
further.
got that. What's your rating?
Oh, rating?
Yeah.
I'll give it a 6.
Okay. So that's not really a
don't rush out and see it. It's worth if it's on streaming, it's worth a stream, put it on while you're doing something else. But
oh my god,
like me, you'll probably left wanting more. There's a few good ones.
Leslie Manville's in it. British actress. Yeah. She left the message on
That's
my
what I was thinking of. Yeah, Leslie Manville.
Complimenting me
good
on a
gore
script.
moments in it and stuff like that, but it never commits.
Sure. All right, fair enough. Well, that's Cold Storage. None of the rest of us have seen it, so you're gonna have to make up your own mind or trust in the owl. We've got a couple of oldies to talk about. Some of you may have seen these, some of you may not have. One that was chatted about earlier today on our good fellow YouTuber Blue Collar Loser. Be good to have him back on the channel. Currently missing in the Where Are They Now crowd, but hopefully we'll get him back soon, is Westworld. They did a full breakdown, I think, of the movie earlier today, because I think, Critic Al, were you on that?
Yeah, I was. We went through the full movie. Very interesting. We had Inside Man on there, and he was...
We're not going to do that now, but I did watch it recently, as have you. Who else has seen it relatively recently?
Yeah, same here. I like it. I like it better than the actual TV show, to be honest. Even
Anna, have you seen it at all?
Oh, no, you've never seen Westworld.
I haven't. I know I should.
It's proto Jurassic Park.
Yeah, so it's definitely worth you seeing. Absolutely.
I know the concept of it because I've seen some episodes of the later show, but I should see the original.
It's a theme park with robots where you can go and act out your fantasies in kind of Roman, cowboy, and various other themed zones, all controlled by computers, etc. The robots go wrong. Yul Brynner reprises his character from the Magnificent Seven almost, because this was filmed not that long after, I think, the second Magnificent Seven movie, which he was also in. But you got a young James Brolin in there. It's a pretty decent movie. Written and directed by Michael Crichton, who also, I think, wrote a book around the same time. And this also came out, I think, just before Coma came out in '78, which we talked about a few weeks ago, which was also Michael Crichton. Yeah, I mean, was that the first time you were watching it, Critical? Is that the first time you've seen it?
No. I've seen Westworld many times. I think I first checked it out shortly after watching Jurassic Park when I was a kid.
Right.
I think I asked my dad, and he was like, "Oh,
yeah." Your dad probably went, "Hey, you've got to see Westworld. It's like
exactly,
this,
yeah,
with robot people." Yeah.
And I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it a good few times now. Fairly familiar with the film.
Northern, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times. Like I said, I prefer this to the TV show, to be honest, because the TV show always felt like it was going over analytical and monologuing all the time, because Jonathan Nolan seems to think every character talks like a philosopher. But no, the characters actually feel like real people who are trying to just have a good time and indulge in their fantasies. They talk like real people, and they act how real people would if they was allowed to do this stuff. And it's just such a simple, tightly paced, well written movie. And it's very fun, but at the same time, it's so haunting as well. And Yul Brynner really makes the most of it, especially during the time when he was really struggling to get to work, struggling to find work.
I like what they've done with the tagline, where nothing possibly can go wrong. and it not only is it like falling off, it's also still wrong. Yeah.
One thing I've seen in this movie is the delivery of information in this movie is astonishingly efficient.
Yeah, it's a very efficient. It's a very efficient script, for sure.
They keep it short and simple, but without dumbing it down.
Yeah, that is actually what Northern looks like when the mask removed, but without the hat. You don't have the cowboy hat.
Malfunction.
You've just got like a cap, like the British cap that you got in the picture. So. I
love the itchy and scratchy land, Stinson.
Yeah, we talked about the itchy and scratchy land episode on the how can you?
That's great. Yeah, the itchy and scratchy.
Yeah, my hair. You chopped off my hair.
Yeah, I was saying on the stream, like this is before the holodeck. This is before Better Than Life and Red Dwarf. I was wondering if this is the first time this kind of better than reality fantasy world was done back in '73.
I can't think of any movie before this that took this on, this kind of topic. There were a couple of other B movies that sort of like, I think there was a Roger Corman thing that was in a similar milieu that came out later. And then there were certainly some Android movies in the 80s and stuff. And I mean, you could argue this could be the prelude to Terminator, couldn't you, in a way?
Well, yeah, we said that, as well. You know, Yul Brynner's very much like the Terminator, and even has almost the same vision in places. And this is definitely a precursor, and it does feel like a dry run for Jurassic Park from Michael Crichton's perspective, especially in the book of Jurassic Park. He goes into the cascade failure of systems and fractals and how that works a lot more. But this is it's a really cool little movie. It goes very sci-fi horror towards the end, I would say.
Very.
It's a lot of fun.
It's quite handy the way basically they got to use all the sets in the backlot, you know. The different zones. Because I think that's the Paramount Wild West backlot, I think.
Which would explain the relatively low budget, because I think it's like 1.2 million, I think we found out.
Wow.
Pretty damn low. Because obviously they were able to use so many of these backlots and stuff.
I bet Brynner had to do that for less than his
$75,000.
Was that his fee?
That was his fee. And he took the first offer because he was so desperate because he was out of work.
Right. That's interesting. It was a good role for him, though.
It was, yeah. Apparently there was a TV show made of this that's so bad that I never knew it existed.
There is a TV show, and that's the one that I did know.
No. Way back in the 80s, they made a TV show of it.
Oh, there's another.
There's 5 episodes. It got cancelled after 3.
I saw a couple of episodes of that way back when. Can't quite remember how we got to see them, but we did. It's not good.
Beyond Westworlds. That's what it's called.
There was a sequel to this with Peter Fonda called Future World, and that's not a terrible film.
I hear different.
No, it's not a terrible film. It's okay. The plot is good. The plot is it's the same people behind the theme park get taken over by a corporation, and the corporation plans on assassinating and replacing world leaders with robots.
Well, let's face it, we wouldn't tell the difference, would we?
Yeah, so that they can control the world, right? A bit like what people are trying to do with AI now. So the actual plot itself is not bad. It's quite good, and it's got some interesting scenes. It's just not a great movie overall, unfortunately. It's got some good ideas, but, they just sort of tried to do a low-budget sequel, and it didn't really work.
I enjoyed the TV show they came out with, the one that Anna's talking about, but only the first season.
Season.
You just watched the first season.
Like showing up in the second season, but
yeah, I gave up 3 or 4 episodes into the second season. I remember that. I was just like, no, they've destroyed it.
It should have been a one and done. Mm-hmm. Once they started doing all the stories with the characters behind the scenes and stuff like that, then suddenly like everybody's becoming a robot, a bit like Battlestar Galactica, and I just thought, no, this has gone real pants.
Which is a shame because there's so many genuine sci-fi ideas you can explore around that, around self-determination and all that kind of thing. But oh well.
Yeah, but highly recommend the 1973 movie if you haven't seen it. I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. Ratings, please.
I think an 8 out of 10 is fair enough because I think it has got some flaws to it, definitely. But I like a lot of what it does, and you just have to remember when you're watching it, film is 53 years old.
Yeah,
which is just crazy. So back then, it really would have been quite revolutionary. But I say, probably around about an 8 out of 10 is fair enough.
Actually, funny enough, this was the final film to be shot on the MGM sound stages and the backlot before the backlot was sold to real estate developers and demolished. So that's not the Paramount.
Okay.
That's the MGM one, which is no longer there.
No.
Damn. I didn't know that the original MGM studios had been demolished, man. Maybe I did and I've forgotten. But okay, cool. We're gonna go for one more oldie, and then we'll start to wrap up. We'll see if anybody's got anything else that they want to give a quick shout out to. Northern would like to chat about this real quick. Nice, I think it's good topic.
Yep, since we're talking about robots gone bad and Galen Haired and James Cameron, I think it would be worth mentioning Sarah Connor Chronicles, the best sequel after Terminator 2. Not Dark Fate, not Terminator 3, not Salvation or Genesis. No, this to me was probably the best follow-up after T2. I mean, it does take elements from Terminator 3, like the timeline has been alternate, and you've got a female Terminator now as well. And in fact, too, because we do get a female T-1000 and played by Shirley Manson from Garbage. But this really does...
Say that again? Shirley Manson from Garbage?
Manson from Garbage is in the Sarah Connor Chronicles. She's in, like, the second half of series 1 and then series 2, because of the writer's strike, the episodes kind of got split up a little bit. But this does feel like Terminator 2 a lot more than Terminator 3 did, which went a little too goofy in places, and it takes it dead serious, and it is very violent, and sometimes innocent people end up dying, and sometimes. There's one where Cameron, played by Summer Glau, the female Terminator, is investigating this Russian ballet instructor because she knows information about the guy who's doing like the next Skynet. But she's in debt with these gangsters, and once she finds out the information, she allows the gangsters to kill her because, she's not part of the mission, which goes to show that, she's an ally, but at the same time, she's very disconnected from people, and she has no sense of empathy towards it. She's there for the mission, protect John, and that's about it. But at the same time, there's kind of a coldness to Cameron, but there's an innocence to her as well. And Summer Glau really plays that really well, and almost making you wonder what's going through her mind all the time. Like she's trying to speak with people but doesn't fully understand, and then she comes across creepy, but at the same time you still kind of want to reassure her. And Lena Headey does Linda Hamilton and Sarah Connor better than Linda Hamilton did in Dark Fate. She really captures all the mannerisms really well, and I like the fact that character has basically evolved since her encounter with Miles Dyson. When she tries to find out who the next Miles Dyson could be, she's trying not to kill him. She's trying to find out what they're up to and see if she can convince them to stop what they're doing, or at least try and help them stop what's happening. But
so is it set between 2 and 3 then, Northern?
It ignores Terminator 3.
It ignores them. Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's that
because there is no Terminator 3, as we know.
Yeah. In fact,
I went back in time and I destroyed the Terminator 3 films and all the others after. They don't exist in the timeline anymore.
I had a soft spot for Terminator 3. I actually really liked the ending.
I
thought the ending was really brave.
Yeah, it is. But in fact, Terminator Genesis actually takes the plot line of them skipping forward in time, but this does it a lot better. It kind of feels like a spy film as well, because they're sort of infiltrating people. But we also get a few liberties taken. Like we found out Kyle Reese had a brother, despite the fact he didn't mention him. But thankfully, Derek Reese is really well played by Brian Austin Green, and he does kind of convince us this hard militant sort of sociopath. He's like the darker side of Kyle Reese. Like remember when Sarah Connor couldn't kill Miles Dyson? Well, Derek Reese would. He would definitely do it. And look, there's Shirley Manson there as the female T-1000. Richard T. Jones is really good as the Fed.
It is.
Yep. And Richard T. Jones is like the Fed who is basically investigating Sarah Connor, but after she skipped forward in time, she was presumed dead. But now we're starting to see that Sarah Connor might actually be onto something about the Terminators and that she might not be wrong. And it does kind of... and look, there's Dennis Duffy as well as the boyfriend, the husband she could have had, but she had to leave because she was still so paranoid about the future. Yeah, Dennis Duffy from Dean Winters, but I still know him as Dennis Duffy from 30 Rock, and we've not seen him in 30
I know
Rock.
him in Oz.
Yeah, he's very funny in that, and this is one of the few times he doesn't play a douchebag. But
how much of it is there, Northern?
Yeah. What? Sorry.
How much of it is there?
3 seasons, isn't it?
No,
Okay.
2 seasons. Anyway, I think it's like 2 seasons, and it unfairly got fucking cancelled, and with a rust final, a really confused final.
36 episodes, I think, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's got a good sort of surrogate family dynamic between Lena Headey, the Thomas Dekker as John Connor.
Edie.
Yeah,
Edie.
Yeah, sorry about that. You call her Headey.
She's Fleming's ex, so I know how to pronounce the name.
Yeah, but they do have a good sort of surrogate family dynamic thing going on there as well, and I think Thomas Dekker does a good job as John Connor as well. He catches a little bit of Edward Furlong's sort of Seth Adult thing. Look, your friend Craig Fairbrass is in this as well.
God, I didn't know he was in this.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
in this. He's only in a couple of episodes though, but it is he can. But Derek Reese kind of shows just how ruthless he is as well. It's well, I wonder what Cal Reese would say if he saw Derek Reese doing this shit.
You know where he is? He's currently in Dubai. Craig.
What, Craig Fairbrass?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, because his son's got a business out there, and he was visiting his son when the war broke out.
Oh shit.
Christ, man.
And I don't think he's been able to get back yet.
I've got a friend who's been stuck in Dubai for a week as well. No one's getting out at the moment.
I mean, to be fair, I can think of worse places to be stuck than Dubai. It does look very
But
luxury.
it's really weird. There's lots of people like putting up videos of them out clubbing on decking and stuff, and filming missiles going past in the background, in like really in the far distance.
Oh
And all
wow.
things like all the funfair rides and shit are all still lit up. I mean, not that there's like German bombers flying overhead that are looking for lights, but it's just kind of surreal that there's, it's the iPhone generation, isn't it? Oh, we're still out. Look, we're partying. Like and subscribe. Check out the missile going over in the background. Oh shit, there's one coming this way. It's a bit like that movie about the end of the world, and when what's his name comes out. So
Like a good 20% of Dubai's population is influencers anyway, and so it's content,
That's right.
I mean, to be fair, maybe those missiles could do us a favor. Just saying.
Yeah, 20%. Oh, that's interesting. 20, God,
Conservative
20%.
estimate.
Huh.
Yeah, this was a very funny
Yeah,
moment
yeah.
when Summer Glau was sort of emulating this. She's Candlelish Watcher anyway. She gets some very good funny moments, even though she's kind of, she's, like I said, she's got this innocence to her, but at the same time, there's something very cold and disturbing about her as well when she tries to act human, or when she's just being a downright badass Terminator. But
yeah, I saw probably about half of the first season, and I did quite like it. It was all right.
I did hear good stuff about this. I did hear that it was pretty good.
Yeah. Plus we've got Garrett Dillahunt as well. He plays Cromartie, but then he also plays this John Henry, who's like the new AI, and he's really creepy as Cromartie. It kind of feels like the Terminator is being intimidated again. But then
it seems to be made at a time when it was okay to have attractive ladies in TV as well.
I was about to say
that. How much I appreciate
there's a
that.
very high proportion of attractive women in the show, which must be absolutely terrible to watch, Norman.
I know. Plus, this is female Terminators done well. Sorry, Dark Fate, but this is much better. This is done. This is actually written really well. And look, Shirley Manson is really good in this as well. I mean, she's not.
Which is weird because I don't. This is why I was so shocked when you said her name, because I don't think she's ever done any other acting.
No. She is fucking scary in it. She is really scary in it. There is a coldness.
She's a Scottish redhead, so yeah, she's definitely scary.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bit where she's doing a model shoot, and the cameraman's saying, "Now, could you smile and make your smile seem a little warmer?" And she's just, and it's still very awkward when she smiles. It's hilarious. It's kind of like, yeah, it's a T-1000. How can she come across warmer?
What's your rating out of 10 for this show overall?
I give it a good 8 out of 10. I just wish the final would be resolved. Come on, Netflix. I mean, Thomas Decker's old enough now. He's 38. He's old enough now to be playing this seasoned veteran. You can cast him. He's still a good actor. He was actually very good in this. Get this final. Resolve the final. Give us some bloody closure.
I don't know if they could do is back on it, isn't he? They
could give us the ending to the Terminator franchise that we've always needed, which is the storming of Skynet ending with Michael Biehn's character going back in time.
Yep.
Michael
Biehn. Well, there is a very good alternative.
If only somebody had written a script for that.
Yeah, well, that's a very good alternative. I can suggest a very good alternative. Terminator Resistance for PS4 or PS5.
Yeah, that was a good story.
Yeah, I remember that.
But Jim Cameron's writing another one.
You didn't like Salvation, Lance?
Lance?
Let's move on. Okay. So, I think we're just about out of time. Which, funny enough, Time is the name of one of my new music tracks, of which there are now 3 on my channel. One of them is called Time. One of them is called So Real, and the other one is called Just One More Day. I'm going to be treating to one of them in lieu of our end credits, because I've done a whole special music video for one. Which is quite personal, so you may want to stay around and watch that. You may not. But before we sign off for the evening, a couple of things. First of all, I'll allow my panel to plug anything they want to plug. Before I do that, just to plug my own shit, I've got a couple of industry interviews coming up. We've got one tomorrow with Dean Zone, who's a big trance DJ in the UK. So if you like your trance music, he's coming on. I've also got a great one coming up on the 18th of March. We've got the designer of Sunfall, which is a choose your own adventure RPG, but it's a massive one. One of the most successful Kickstarter campaigns for an RPG ever. They raised 54 grand from a £5,000 goal. So in other words, they've gone over their target considerably, and they still have 22 days to go. Now, the reason I'm getting this guy on is he was actually supposed to come on last year when the campaign was just starting. Michael J. Ward is the designer. And unfortunately, he couldn't do the 2 dates that I suggested and I couldn't do the 2 dates that he suggested. I already had guests locked in for those dates. So I said to him, well, how long's the campaign running? And it was for I think it was for 2 to 3 months or something. And I said, okay, well, let's do this, in a few weeks. So he's going to come on. He's going to talk about the world that he's created for this. It's kind of very sort of grim, dark fantasy. It's this world that's been devastated by this changing shift, and there's all kinds of interesting creatures. And I have to say, it looks pretty bloody good. Loads of really cool concept art and all this kind of thing, as you can see from what's going on here. I'll put the link for it in the chat if people want to check it out. But this is going to be Wednesday the 18th. Look, ow, look.
Spider, I'm impressed.
What's that? It's already got the Alan approval rating. There you go. So, so that's March the 18th. We're going to be talking about that with Michael J. Ward. I think that will be pretty cool. Here we go. I've got a question for Dead Gamers 13. He's a friend of yours. If you can, ask him what happened to Britannia series. Why wasn't there a season 4? I was gutted. I really like that show. Hello, by the way, all of you. Are you talking about? Is that the show that was sort of set with when we were in ancient Britain and it was the Roman times?
Not heard of it.
I'm just
Britannia. It was
Fairbrass in this or something.
It was out. I think if it's the one I'm. Britannia, it was called Britannia or something like that.
Okay.
And it was out. I want to say 2017.
Gotcha.
So I remember watching the first series with my ex-partner.
I think you talk about David Morrissey then.
David Morrissey was in it. That's right. He was. Yeah. That's why I watched it. I watched all of the first and second season of that, and it was pretty good actually.
Sometimes good stuff just doesn't get renewed, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean it's there's lots of series that get cancelled all the time, and he wouldn't necessarily be privy to that information. But it's it's just usually the case that the whichever broadcaster took the contract decides whether or not to review it based on the viewing figures and sometimes the reviews. Sometimes the wrong stuff gets renewed, and sometimes we also get Rings of Power season 3. So, I don't know if it's started filming yet. Maybe
it's done filming. It's going to come out later this year. They haven't announced yet exactly when, but all signs point to it being end of August. So prepare yourselves.
I know.
Jonathan pissing 500 million up the wall.
We're trying to get this guy on who's been an extra in the Lord of the Rings movies, and he's played both an orc and an elf. Anna put me in touch with him. I have written to him, but he hasn't got back to me. So he's seen the message, but he hasn't replied. So I had to check all my restraining orders, but I don't think he's on the list. So but Anna, maybe you can chase that up. See if we can get that. Get somewhere with that.
See what we can do.
Yes, so Enzo, do you want to play anything, bud?
What's the movie this week? Is going to be Leprechaun.
Sorry, mate. Go ahead.
Leprechaun 3.
Go ahead, mate.
What else? I'm still monetized. I got my appeal. It went through. Everything's fine. So I guess the next couple of things we'll be doing like membership drives, get those membership numbers up, and I don't know. Play some video games. I might download this Colonel Sanders dating simulator and play that on one of the streams coming up. There's some other fun stuff we got going on.
Colonel Sanders dating simulator. Please explain.
It's a KFC game. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say.
Would you not want to romance Colonel Sanders?
Yeah.
Well, no.
I don't know. It's one of those things where like the less I know, the better. I want to get my full reaction when I play it on stream.
Okay.
Soon.
Why don't you get with me? I'm finger licking good.
But yeah, we're gonna be raising some money, getting memberships up. I think if I get like a certain 100 members, I'm gonna review Bible Black and eat a super spicy capsaicin gummy bear.
Bible Black.
Yeah, that's apparently. I don't know what it is. People are like, you should do a Bible Black. Who was it? Peter Vick Fansite was the one who
You
suggested.
don't know what Bible Black is, no?
I assume it's some hentai crap. I'm not
That's
worried
exactly
about
what
it.
it is.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm excited. All right. Well, yeah, we got a lot of fun
It's
stuff
like
coming in the
It's
future.
like satanic hentai, basically.
Awesome. That sounds awesome, actually. Okay, I thought it was gonna be something bad. All right. Well, yeah, Leprechaun 3 is gonna be Wednesday's movie, so stick around for that. It's a funny one.
Great.
Good. And yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day coming up.
Nolan, anything you want to plug?
Yeah, Friday, me and Inside Man will be discussing Get Carter, the original 1971 classic with Michael Caine.
Ooh.
And on Sunday, 6 o'clock, me, Kung Fu Hot Dog, Admiral Teague, maybe Lord Toxic, if you can make it. Anyone else that wants to jump on, we'll be discussing the Miami Vice episode, Calderon's Return, Part 2, The Hit List. And it's a banger episode with one of the coolest quickfire assassins ever starring on, ever cast on TV.
Is that the episode where the M60 fires out the truck?
Yeah, it's the one where where Captain Rodriguez gets killed, so it can be replaced by Edward James Olmos.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Spoiler alert.
And Northern and crew have really good fashion discussion on the show, and even models some clothing. So come for that as well.
Listen,
Wine
if
shirts
Inside
all
Man
round.
is going to model some Miami Vice clothing, I'm telling you, I'm there. I'll be traveling back from Stonehenge that day, so unfortunately, the timings won't work for me. But I've actually got a non-raving weekend this weekend.
You'll have to give the archaeological facts of the week.
Yeah. Didn't we do archaeological facts of the week at the beginning, where you kind of covered the whole war machine the dinosaur thing being filmed in Morocco, or what, Jordan again?
Yeah, I think that counts.
Yeah, I thought that counted. That's where I thought you were going with that. That was so just naturally, organically segued into that. Very good. Al, anything you want to plug?
On Thursday, we will be seeing if my sanity can withstand the Starfleet Academy finale.
Okay.
After the end of episode 9, where the bad guy puts a minefield round the entire of the Federation, we will see if I can get through the finale.
I didn't bother after episode 3.
You made the
Okay, that's it from us. So don't forget to check out my industry interview tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, where we'll be talking all things music. Talking of which, I've now gone into producing music. So you're going to get to see some now while we wrap up, or in lieu of credits for a change. So don't forget to keep in touch with the people that you care about and tell them that you love them. And we will see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I woke up from a long dream just the other night. Gave myself quite the scary fright. I'd woken from living in another life. Everything there, it felt so very real. Everything there, you could touch, you'd smell, you'd feel. It all felt so real. So real. Oh, so real. Real to me. It wasn't like any other dream. This went on for weeks and weeks. weeks, my life there had taken a different turn. The world around hadn't begun to burn. Humanity wasn't quite so bleak. I'd gone back to the summer of 2009, enjoying a holiday on the beach with a glass of wine. I could smell the forest full of scented pines. I felt the warm water and the surrounding ocean, lying on a Greek island with not a notion. No idea this was a parallel life as I sat there smiling with my wife. It was just so real. Oh, so real. Real to me. Weeks there turned into months. Then months, they turned into years. My old life here was a fading memory, but this one felt so real and so near. You could talk to the people on the street. You woke up each day. You'd know the people you'd meet. But the very best thing was that Angela Thomas and Jennifer Coralie, they hadn't gone away, gone away. No, they were there every day. Oh, every day. Said, Lance, I am so sorry I had to go. I just ran up and hugged her tight. All I could manage to say was, I know, you didn't want to go. How we laughed again, dancing on the beach with both of them. It had been such a very long, long while since I'd seen Jenny's beautiful smile. But by far the biggest prize was getting to look into Angela's eyes and hear her say, in that very special that everything in my life was going to be okay. Be okay. Oh, every day. It all felt so real. So we held each other in that special way. It felt so real, so real, oh, so real. And then I was awake, real. It wasn't real, or is this the dream? How can I get back? I wish I could open the door to where I've just been before. If that's so real, oh, so real. So now every day I wonder if my life could have really turned out this way. To find out, I guess I'll have to wait until I sleep once more to dream rather than weep. Somewhere out there in another timeline, it feels that my life is carrying on. Now everything in this one, it just feels